Good morning. So what are you researching right now?
Rigging, hounds, and bolsters.
The day's finally come to start shaping down the mast. It's starting to look so sweet. Sort of a blessing in disguise. There's a boat in there. Voila. We're in the middle of building our main mast, and this morning we started by hitting the books. Good morning.
This is a great book. Anybody's trying to set up or repair or whatever, anything to do with a traditional rig, I recommend this book. Gaff Rig by John Leather. It's full of valuable information because traditional rigging and spars are so very different than modern rigging and spars, and everybody will look at you like you're crazy and like you're doing it wrong and like, oh no, you need to do this, you need to do that, but like this is a good source of valuable information.
Of accurate, valuable information.
Yeah. Right now the mast is 8-sided and I'm trying to decide, do I want to build the hounds, which here they're called hounds or cheeks, but basically where your shrouds attach on the mast, most modern boats have a tang that's bolted into the mast.
This is closer to the top of the mast,
yeah.
Right?
And so most modern boats have tangs with eyes and the shrouds just come up and they shackle to them. But on a traditional boat, you usually have these cheeks or hounds, and the shrouds come and they wrap all the way around the mast on both sides. And so you have, so this is your mast, and here's your hounds, basically these little like feet that stick out. And so the way you attach your shrouds is the shroud comes up and then it actually
Goes behind the mast?
Yeah, wraps around the mast completely, and you do that on both sides.
And how does it attach?
You make an eye.
Okay.
So the eye basically just slips over the top of the mast and is stopped up on the hounds. So you have you have another shroud that comes up and wraps around this way, and then another shroud that comes up, wraps around, and then another shroud that comes up and wraps around. So you have, and then you have a forestay
that wraps around the backside.
that wraps around. So this book just gives you all the information on that, including all the way down to the order in which you should
loop them.
Fit. Yeah, it's just nice to have like little useful information like that, because I would have figured it out obviously, but there's a right way to do it.
Yeah.
So I might as well do it the right way. So this is the plans. These are the plans.
Let me come behind you.
So our plans, they show just very, very simple work boat, working gaff or cruising gaff rigging, which I like. And it's only 2 shrouds on either side of the mast, close to where the hounds will be, and or Sorry, my brain is still waking up close to where
Still on our first cup of coffee.
close to where the gaff will be when it's hoisted, which is just 4 feet down from the base. It's nice just reading in the book, and it talks about how this is, this is a standard setup for cruising gaffs, working gaffs, and it's all that you need. In a way, kind of glad that we've ended up doing this project with rebuilding the main mast, because honestly, I think the mast sizes that are shown in the plans are a little bit too small for this type of rig. And Bueller even noted when we were emailing back and forth that he doesn't do gaff rigs. So
yeah,
a lot of his boats show gaff rigs, but as far as his experience and what he does, he always goes with the Marconi cutter. But he even said in his email, it's like, I don't really do gaff rigs, so you might want to
expand your research.
Yeah, I'm glad that we ended up needing to rebuild one of the masts, because I can rebuild the main mast, and now that I have more time and more headspace to actually look into this stuff, not just like so busy with the boat, so busy with everything, and be like, all right, we need a tree. Okay, what does it say in the plans? All right, do that, blah, 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 do it, done, don't think about it, go.
Yeah.
And now that I have time to think about it, I can look and be like, well, these are the diameters he specs in here. These are probably more suited for a Marconi, which he's used to using, which he said. And reading this book and looking at this and everything, I think that I need to, which I've done with the new mast, I need to increase the diameter. And also going with the book in traditional cruising gaff or working gaff, there's points like, there shouldn't be taper in the mast all the way up to the hounds. So pretty much the majority of the mast, keel to hounds, should be of a solid diameter. And then above the hounds, you can taper it down if you want to. But that's just a big difference between a cruising gaff and a yacht gaff or a racing gaff, or, of course, Marconis and modern rigs. I think it's going to be better and way stronger what we're ending up with now. I'm glad to be taking my time on this and re-looking over everything and just kind of redesigning the rig a little bit more towards what it should be as far as a traditional rig, as far as a cruising gaff rig, not a racing gaff, not a yachting gaff. It's a cruising gaff, which is the same as a working gaff. So it's very simple, but it's very robust. And the new mast will really work well with everything.
Yeah, it's looking great. It's actually been kind of fun.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing it.
And it's been kind of nice being back in the yard too. Like you were describing yesterday, that it's really nice. You don't have to worry too much about noise and the sawdust flying.
Yeah, everybody's there working on a boat.
Yeah, here we're definitely the only ones out there.
Yeah, we have to be a lot more cautious about noise.
Make sure if it's a peaceful Sunday, that's not a working day. That's maybe we work on the engine.
Have to wait for people to start doing yard work. As soon as somebody fires up a lawnmower, we can fire up sander.
Yeah.
So it pulls out a leaf blower. It's like, okay, sweet, let's go.
Back to the boatyard with our plans and a better idea of how we're eventually going to rig up the whole thing when we're ready to move Rediviva back to the yard for her first annual haul out in about a month or two. Garrett figured out where the hounds should go and that it'd be easiest to mount them while we still have flat sides on the mast. Then, out of black locust we still have laying around, cut them out.
I think 1 foot should be plenty overkill. Alright, so here's the first hound that I built.
To save you from the aggravating wind noise again, Garrett cut out his first hound for the mast and got it all shaped and smoothed up. and then he traced it on his next piece of locust and cut that out. Then once he had both cut and shaped, he then wanted to route out a little groove in the mast that the hound will then sit into and lock it in place. It'll also be bolted and bedded. The day's finally come to start shaping down the mast. So Garrett's got the vacuum hooked up to the planer, and yeah, get mostly down to round I think with the planer, and then a couple different sanders to get her all nice and smooth. Garrett got 5 out of the 8 sides kind of rounded down roughly. So he's got 3 more sides to go with the planer and then the festool, and then we can start to finish sand it and then get some oil on here because the sun is definitely starting to check it just a little bit at the end and a little bit up at the tip. But it'll be super nice to get it all nice and oiled and get her all protected. See, just a little bit. And the 3 more sides. A little easier to roll now, huh?
Yeah. Swing. Swing at a ding at a. Swing and a swung and a swing found. You're so weird. Yes, Mom, get stoked. He is amped. Yeah.
I think he's halfway to coma. Even when you're amped like Swab, sometimes you have to do a minor other job before you can get started. Well, there's your problem. Well, that worked.
seen a better repair in all my days.
All right. We now have a pretty well-rounded mast. The only thing left now to shape is the mast head. Using the compact router, Garrett stair-stepped the tip of the mast to then hand plane and sand it. Starting to look so sweet. Hard to imagine just a couple days ago it was square. And finally, before my favorite part of souping, Garrett secured the hounds. What happened to your tube of caulking there?
Kind of dried on the
Only way to go out was side.
And then there'll be 2 bolts. But I don't have bolts right now, so. This is just my ongoing slush mix. This gallon never runs out. It just keeps getting added to. So the mixture just, you know, keeps evolving, but it's basically the same. This is the last of our real Stockholm tar. So this is the good shit. So I just got this, let this kind of bake in the sun to get all nice and soupy. So I added a good amount of that in there and just got some cheap varnish. And then the rest that's already in here is a mixture of linseed oil and pine tar. So I'm gonna add a decent amount of varnish to this mix. Okay. Bam.
A little more Stockholm tar.
Okay. This is gonna be a good mix.
Did you already add your dryer?
No, not yet. I'm gonna shake it up, and then I'm gonna pour it into a small empty quart can that we have, and and then add the dryer to that. Because
Oh,
I
okay.
don't really want to add the dryer to the whole mix. See if I can do this without the top popping off. Oh yeah. It's gonna be primo. I want to find something to kind of scoop this in here so I don't spill it everywhere. Maybe you could pour it.
Okay. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Started last Wednesday and it's Friday, so that's 9 days. I guess I should ask first, are we done? Is souping it kind of the done part, or?
I mean, for the most part, I need to install some eye bolts for halyards and stuff, which is just a matter of going and buying them and drilling, and I want to do like at least 3 more coats of soup though.
Yeah, that sounds like good idea. How do you feel about the whole project?
Great.
Yeah, I
I've
think
been having fun.
Went super smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nothing fancy. It's just a big hunkin' spar for a very traditionally rigged boat. Keep it simple.
Yeah, so I guess sort of a blessing in disguise that the mizzen kind of got a little bit of a kink at one end, and so now the main mast, what was the main mast, is now the mizzen mast, and now we've built this nice new main stick. Yeah. And got to, yeah. Super tired.
It's been a long week.
Yeah.
We built this really quick.
Yeah.
But it's just been go, go, go.
Yeah, every day.
But it's been good. It's been a nice project, a little break away from the boat.
Yeah, it's been super nice working in the boatyard. Getting to talk to a bunch of other neighbors around here, and I don't know, everyone working on their project, it definitely feels motivating. Several more coats of soup later, we wrapped up the mast for safe storage at the yard until we're ready to haul Rediviva, to step the mast and knock out hopefully the last push of big projects. We still have to finish installing all her systems, get her sails, and let's be honest, the list is still long. But we're eager to get this final stage of building done.